25th anniversary of Sesame Street, I'd like to play my favorite game with Cookie here tonight. One of the... Yeah, you like games, Cookie?
Oh, me love games.
Oh,
especially
right.
cookie games.
Well, this one doesn't have cookies, but maybe we'll find some when it's over, Cookie. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you guess which thing is not like the other? Now before I finish my song, are you ready, Cookie?
Oh, yes, we like playing this game, Mr. Jason.
All right, let's have some music. And let's have dancer number 1. Dancer number 2. Whoa, I think you speak for all of us, Cookie. Ladies and gentlemen, Papa John Kolstad.
I've never followed a belly dancer before.
You have my skills!
I love to play the blues. But a lot of people have wondered, what's a Norwegian Irishman like you doing playing the blues? But I've never had a real answer for that, except that I love the music and I love the people that made the music. People who started recording in the late 1920s and the 30s recorded just beautiful, heart-rending music. And when I played folk music and a lot of other kinds of music, and then I heard this blues music and something about it really touched me. So I want to do one of the prettiest ones that I know by a great composer named Leroy Carr, played the piano, had a sidekick named Scrapper Blackwell, played the guitar. And what I figured out about blues songs is that they're nothing but love songs. And everybody loves a love song because we all got somebody we love in our life and our family. And so blues are songs, you hear about, a blues about alcohol. Well, the reason it's a blues is because if you're drinking alcohol, it gets in the way of your relationship, and it's about love. There you are again. You get put into jail, what does that mean? It interferes with your relationship with the person. So you see what I mean? They're all love songs. So this is one of the prettiest ones I know. It's called In the Wee Midnight Hour Blues. creep up on you and carry your life away. As I lay in my bed and cannot go to sleep, as I lay in my bed, cannot go to sleep, and while my heart's in trouble, yet my mind is sinking. Well, my mind is running back to days of long ago. Yeah, my mind is running back to days of long ago. No one I love, but I don't see her anymore. I guess Papa the Blues. But I've been so worried, I didn't know what to do. I've been so worried, I didn't know what to do. So I guess that is why I have these midnight hour blues.
I told you not to eat so many Jello shots.
I love Jello.
Yeah, you and Bill Cosby.
Let's go to the ladies' room for a bit.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Well, let's see who's left here. Oh yeah, it's just Larry and me. Whichever prize you choose here is going to be the one that I don't get. You pick your poison, Larry.
Shoot! Now I gotta pick the present that I put up there.
What do you mean? Why do you have to pick your own? Pick the other one. It's much more fun.
I can't. I re-gifted the Adrian Peterson jersey. I can't let my boss get that. I thought someone else in the party would have grabbed it by now.
So what? All right. I got a his and hers matching whitey-tighty underwear set. Like that. Elastic, too. Enjoy. So, the Adrian Peterson jersey is not going to be any worse.
Are you sure? Do you really think so?
I know so.
Okay, no more strategizing with John. Get up here and pick your present. Which one will it be?
I'll take this one.
All right. All right, let's see what Larry gets. Oh!
Yeah,
Vikings jersey. Nice, nice. Let's have a look at it. Who'd you get here? It's, whoa. That's not cool. This is supposed to be a fun party. somebody has really crossed the line here, and I want to know who did this. It's lesson time, people. Switching a kid, a 5-year-old, 4-year-old kid, is not funny, it's not a prank, and this is not cool.
Well, I'll just take it home and I won't wear it. It's okay.
It's not okay. In fact, whoever brought this to this party is fired. And whoever tells me who brought it gets a $5,000 bonus. I think this party's over, gentlemen.
Whoa, did not see that one coming. Oh, and a $5,000 bonus for turning you in.
You're not going to turn me in.
She needs to go home.
I hate Jello.
I leave the room for 5 minutes, the place turns into a funeral parlor.
The party's over, let's go. Oh, and John, don't worry. I'm not going to trade you in for a $5,000 bonus. Consider it my Christmas present to you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, let's go.
Hey, that looks just like the Vikings jersey I got.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Gravitone of the String Theory Orchestra.
wine tasting. It was nice of him to give us these tickets, since he couldn't make the festival and all. I don't know. He said all you had to do was just smell the wine deeply and slowly and enjoy all the food. I think you can drink and eat.
Well, yeah, but what does wine even smell like? I mean, does it have a smell? Oh, smells like grapes.
Don't be stupid. Just nod approvingly and drink it.
Yeah, but what happens when they find out I'm not the Jacques guy?
They're not expecting Jacques. He said he couldn't make it and that they'd send a worthy replacement. So you're it. Now we're gonna go in there and we're gonna eat and drink and don't say anything.
Well, that should be easy because I don't know anything about wine.
Fine. Fine. I'll just throw away these $250 tickets to a party I've been dying to go to all year with people who could advance my career, all because I don't feel like going to a party. I guess I know how much you love me.
Okay. Don't freak out. Don't get all out of control. I'm just a little nervous, that's all. Okay, but you know what? I'm going to do this. It's fine. I'll drink the wine and eat the food while you hobnob. It'll be good. Now whose house is this? Who's running the party?
It's Elizabeth Casterdine. Not Liz, not Beth, Elizabeth. Now, are we ready?
Very nice.
Okay, one last time. Which is better, Cambria or Charles Shaw?
Charles Shaw.
Damn it, John!
God.
Everybody knows Charles Shaw is Tupac Chuck, remember?
Yeah, okay, but just remember, I'm not saying anything, okay?
Good. Now, don't embarrass me.
My lips are sealed.
Greetings. Could I have your names to address to the group?
Yes, John Bailey, and this is my fiancée, Catherine Kruger.
Very well. May I take your coats, please? Thank you. A fine bottle of Pinot for the tasting. Very well done. Mrs. Casterdine and guests, I would like to introduce to you our special guest of the evening, our wine taster and facilitator for the evening, Mr. John Bailey and his lovely fiancée, Ms. Catherine Kruger.
So happy you could fill in for Mr. Monroe. We were sad that he wouldn't be able to do the wine tasting tonight, but he assured us that you were one of the best in the business, and we welcome you and your lovely fiancé. Jacques has said that you have the finest sense for aroma and complexions of wines he has ever known. Now we have been waiting, so help yourself to some hors d'oeuvres and we'll begin promptly.
If I may just steal him for one moment, Elizabeth, thank you.
What the?
Don't press the panic button, okay?
I have the finest sense of wine aroma in the world. I pour ammonia into mop buckets.
Just shut up, okay? You can do this. He said you just have to smell the wine deeply and slowly and eat the food.
Okay, but why did Jacques think that I'm some wine expert? I mean, you told him that I'm a custodian, right?
I worked for a magazine aimed at the upper crust with a wine column. No, I didn't tell him you're a janitor. I told him you were a college professor that dabbles in a private winery.
What? A college professor? This is ridiculous.
You know what? If you walk right now, we're done. This engagement, it's off. So you stop being so selfish and you get out there and you do this.
Fine, okay, I'll do it. I'll sniff the wine.
Take deep approving smells. Take in an aroma.
Whatever. I'm smelling and shutting the hell up. Now, let's go back to the party.
Mr. Bailey, would you do us the honor of our first bottle of the evening? Bleu de Pape Chateauneuf de Pape 2005 from France, given top honors in Wine Spectator.
Yes, I can sense why this pick was a top pick.
So with your keen sense of smell, what should we be looking for?
Oh, well, yes, of course. I can sense that these grapes are from France. Very select region in France. Could be hand-picked.
Well, yes, indeed. The literature shows that this is a mix of 60% Grenache, 20% Mourvèdre, 10% Syrah, and the other from 74 acres of vines around Chantilly.
Oh, just as I thought. Ah, yes, a complicated mixture, but the Grenache really comes through, along with the other two.
Jacques was quite right about your sense of smell. To pick out the Grenache from the Mourvèdre to tell the region, very impressive.
Yes. oh, yes. Of course, part of my keen ability to sense the wine comes from immediately guzzling the glass and then clearing the palate with some of your cheese.
Quite unorthodox, but we shall all give it a try. Everyone, let's down our glasses and focus on our sense of smell. We'll try to tell the type and the region from the aroma. What fun this will be.
Everybody drink? For our next variety, we have...
Tut-tut, let's not give it away. Catherine, would you do us the honors of appreciating this next wine? We'll let the ladies begin. What do you say, Miss Kruger?
Well, it smells lovely, Elizabeth. Excellent choice. Not quite as exotic as the first. Maybe a fine Napa vintage? Maybe a Cabernet?
You've done well. That is a California vintage. The area is not Napa, and though it has qualities of a Cabernet, it is not. Should we let Mr. Bailey tell us what it is?
Oh, well, oh, yes, of course. I can sense that it's a California wine, and I can understand why Catherine would think Cabernet. It's close, but of course not. I wonder if your butler would care to make a guess.
I'm afraid he's already seen the bottle. So go ahead, Mr. Bailey.
Ah, well, yes, it does have a firm red, black grape scent.
Maybe somebody in the guests would like to make a guess. Anyone? It'd be fun.
Let's not keep the suspense any longer. What do you say, Mr. Bailey?
It is full-bodied, and of course, it's only one way to...
Bravo! Let's down the hatch, everyone. What do you say, Mr. Bailey?
Well,
Maybe a Montebello!
Getting closer, Catherine. Mr. Bailey, what do you say?
Well, Miss Casterdine, I'm afraid that
John has a terrible sinus infection. He can't smell much of anything. We're terribly sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I hope you forgive me.
No. It is I who should apologize. Because, you see...
John.
That's enough, Kate. Now, I'm not a fancy wine expert. I'm a school custodian at Henderson, and I'm so sorry to be the fraud that I am. You see, it was Jacques that gave us these tickets, and he said all we had to do was come and, drink the wine and eat the food, and I'm so sorry I've ruined your party.
My God, John, you're not a wine farmer?
Let's end the game, Kate. You know I'm not a wine expert. You want me to be something that I'm not. And you know what? Maybe it's just the scent of the wine, but, I'm realizing that this is over. You want me to be something that I'm not, and I can't be a fraud. You breathe me in and you sense some Harvard professor in an ivory tower, fancy wine farmer. I breathe myself in and I just know who I am. And I have to be myself. And you just need to...
What is wrong with trying to expose you to some culture? Now on top of totally embarrassing me, you're breaking up with me? How much more humiliation can I take? I know the scent of you, John, and the scent is trash. Butler, can I have my jacket? Thank you.
Well, then this has turned out to be quite the exciting evening. Butler, please pour everyone a glass so we may down this immediately.
I'm so sorry to have ruined your party, Miss Casterdine. I just had to be honest. You know what? I think in light of the events tonight that I should go too. Butler, could I have my jacket?
No. I insist you stay for one last class. Butler, continue. I have never known a man who would be so honest and risk great embarrassment in the love of his life just to tell the truth. That takes great courage. This is the finest local wine from our area, 10,000 vines from Morgan Creek. It's the first to use the Marquette grape developed by the University of Minnesota. It's comparable to a mix of Pinot Noir and Grenache.
You sure you want to waste this on me? I'm not going to know the difference between this Marquette grape and a Ripple.
I insist you stay for one last class, for I too know the scent of a man. You may not be the wine connoisseur I was led to believe, but I believe you are a good man, an honest man, a man of character. So, everyone, please join me in toasting the most honest man in the room. May you always be yourself, with a cheers and a down the hatch.
Cheers.
Thank you. Now we're going to turn the spotlight over to Papa John Kolstad and the String Theory Orchestra. They'll play as long as they want to, and after the show, make sure to stop by if you bought any of the CDs. Papa John will give us signature, sign a bunch of them. So thank you very much.
I'm sure I can play anything. I'll give it a shot.
This new song, which one did the rest of it?
Actually, I've had a lot of experience at wine tasting, so I fare fairly well. See if I can make my buttons work here. It works. I grew up in the country in Wisconsin. It was a great place to grow up, but there were some problems. I had to walk at least 2 miles to get into trouble. And it wasn't worth it. And so I had a really boring life. The saving grace was that there was a lake right there. And I get up, in those days I used to get up at 5 in the morning, or whenever the sun was coming up, I'd be up in the boat and out on the lake. My parents would get up, and the rest of my brothers and sisters, and they thought I had been kidnapped because they couldn't find me. But I was out on the lake fishing, and I love to go fishing. So this song I learned is called the Fishing Blues, and I thought this is a perfect song for me about fishing, because I loved to fish so much when I was young. Then I did some research to find out who wrote this song and what it was really about. And I like to get the history of all these songs. Shockingly, I found out this was not about fishing at all. This was a song written by a woman who was suspicious that her old man was dipping his pole into another pond, if you know what I'm talking about. So she goes to him, she says, well, you're out fishing, and you can go fishing wherever you want to go fishing. That's okay. But I got some pretty good bait myself. I can go fishing too. So this is the Fishing Blues. I'm going fishing all the time. Thank you very much. Do a little instrumental. I always like to do things that are time appropriate, at least for the seasons. You know, in India, they would never think of playing an evening song in the morning or a morning song in the evening, because every song is fits a different time. I don't quite go that far, but this is one about the fall called The Autumn Leaves. This is from the record I did with my band called The Hot Club of East Lake. Well, it's kind of interesting to watch the news across the country because some places have legalized a plant that grows everywhere, pretty much in the world, and was made illegal. Plant was made illegal. A weed, pretty much, made illegal all across the United States of America. The rest of the world was saying, what? It's a medicine. The native people knew it was a medicine. They used it for medication. But for a long time, it was illegal. But now it's being made, at least not criminal. But that's not the way it was back in the 19 and the 30s because, well, you remember that was the period called the Depression. And the reason they called it the Depression was because everybody lost their jobs, or at least most people. They didn't have any money. When you don't have any money and you lost your job, it's really depressing. So they called it the Depression. And it was particularly hard on musicians because, you know, they're always the first to lose their jobs. They never have any money. Well, some musicians discovered that if you found this plant and you rolled it up like a cigarette and you smoked it and inhaled the smoke, lots of your worries just kind of disappeared. Although there was one problem, it did make you kind of hungry. So you had to have something around for that. But it was illegal, and so the police liked to arrest these musicians and throw them in jail and do all kinds of terrible things to them. So it became a very dangerous thing to do. And so they had to communicate about this, they had to create a new language that the police and the officials would know about. And so they started having different names for it. There were hundreds of them that they made up. But particularly people who smoked this stuff, because it's not like a cigarette where you're cool, when you smoke it. With this stuff, the smoke was very strong, so you'd take in a lot of air when you would be smoking it, and you make a kind of a hissing sound, like a kind of a hissing noise. And so they called people that did that, the musicians referred to them as vipers, like a snake, hissing snake. And the coppers didn't know what they were talking about, so they just ignored the conversations. So this is a tune written by Fats Waller called If You's a Viper. Now, if you're a viper, you know what this is all about. If you ain't a viper, well, it's just a little historical piece of information. We'll start this out. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not time picture. I know Joe can't keep the rhythm to there. I'm so am I'm a viper. Fancy rags. Everything's down there, yeah. Hustle down downtown. Blow your mind on peppermint ice cream. Woo. You know you are really sad. You don't care, you can't pay the rent now. Sky's high, so am I. I'm a viper. Yeah, a viper. You know, when they found out there's medicines in it that they haven't been able to find anyplace else for things like children who have what do they call it?
Seizures.
Spasms, huh?
Epilepsy?
Epilepsy,
Seizures.
yeah. And they couldn't find any other cure. They found out it's in the oils of that, and it cost almost nothing. Maybe that's why it's been illegal. I'm going to put down my 6th string here and pick up old Charlie. Charlie, you ready for this?
Right, Charlie.
Oh, thank you for doing that, because he's a great guitar, but he's really temperamental. And if he doesn't get some applause and attention from the audience, he gets pissed off. And then he gets out of tune. It's really terrible. So let's hear it for Charlie! We're talking during the break about about historic buildings, and this town is a marvelous example of maintaining our culture and not letting people come in and tear down our historic buildings and put up, in Minneapolis they're putting up what we call junk in place of 100-year-old buildings. It just makes you want to cry to see that. And come to this town, I just think it's marvelous. So the people who have made that happen in this town, thank you very much for doing that. I was a student at the university in the mid-60s, and as most students, you live in poor housing. Well, it wasn't poor housing, it was just inexpensive housing. In an area probably not considered to be a nice area, but I wasn't worried about that. I was a farm kid, tough as nails, walk through walls, I had all that stuff. So I wasn't worried about being in a tough neighborhood. So I'm living in this place, and I didn't have any money for furniture because I was a student and I was spending all my money on college. So I would go around the neighborhood, which was a previously industrial area, right on Washington Avenue, if you know, right by Seven Corners in Minneapolis, between Seven Corners and downtown, right near where the stadium is and where that bridge fell down. I saw them building that bridge that fell down, the 35W bridge. So I'm looking to decorate my apartment. I found some burlap bags, and I opened up these burlap sacks and I used them for curtains. The girls loved them. They always laughed when they came into my apartment and they saw my, what is that? I said, those are my curtains. They went, okay. I said, well, they work. You know. And I found a lot of interesting things, and I decorated my apartment with them. Well, I was looking for more things, and they were going to tear the building down right next to me. And there were workers in the building, and they were taking out the last of the machinery. It had been the Flower City Trunk Factory had been in there. They made cases for unusually shaped things, custom-made cases. They were very good at it. So I was down in the basement looking around, and they're taking the last of the equipment out with 4 guys who were hauling it out on a little dolly. And I found this sign. It was a tin sign, and it was about 8 feet tall or more, and it was all rolled up like a scroll. It was kind of like finding the Dead Sea Scrolls. I mean, these were the dead Minneapolis scrolls. And so I rolled it trying to open this thing up, and it was kind of springy, and it was all covered with dust. But I could see it was a hand-painted sign. You could see the brushstrokes. And it was a Victorian style of print. And I thought, wow, this is really neat. So I got the guys to help me to open this thing all the way up. And And I cleaned it off, and I stood back, and it said, Mill City Flour Factory. And I said, wow, what's that? I never heard of that. And they said, well, don't you know, this area of Minneapolis was originally called the Mill City. In fact, just a few blocks from where we are here, 25% of all the flour in the entire world was milled at that site. The Pillsbury hay mill and the Crosby, Washburn Crosby mill on this side and the south side. It's like, wow, that's incredible. Mill City, huh? I said, well, someone should write a song about that and restore that name, Mill City, to the city of Minneapolis. These four workers just looked at me, dumbfounded. It's like, hey man, we just move stuff. We don't write songs about it, you know. And I said, that's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll write the song about it. So a couple weeks later, I literally just sat down and played this song. So here. Mill City Blues.